With the available of social media, video games, TV shows, and so much more, there have never been so many opportunities for someone to be distracted. And distraction can be good. Maybe you're just dealing with a lot of stress or anxiety and you just need to tune everything out. It's totally okay to be distracted from time to time, but distractions are just that, distractions. And you could be spending that time more productively. Now I know, you hear the word productive and you think about some hustle culture, hardworking, rise and grind mindset, but I'm not actually here to push that on you. I'm honestly too lazy to advocate for that anyway. Instead, I want to talk about the philosophy of Stoicism and the importance it places on reflection. Now by reflection, I don't simply mean reflecting on your day or your life, but that is included. By reflection, I mainly mean reflecting on different life lessons and teachings that require a reminder, because remembering these teachings will ultimately improve your life. Marcus Aurelius is probably one of the most famous Stoic philosophers because of his life as an emperor of Rome and because he wrote one of the most accessible works of Stoic philosophy in the Meditations. Like with many historic writings, the background of the Meditations is a bit debated, but many believe that Marcus intended this work to be a private journal that he would work on while he was engaged in various military campaigns. And this makes sense, you know? You're out there in the battlefield dealing with life or death decisions. You need some little place to go in order to stop and collect your thoughts. The historical context alone for this work can act as an argument for reflection. You're not necessarily acting, but you're not being idle either. You're stopping in order to act better in the world. Now getting into the actual book, Book 2 opens like this. Begin the morning by saying to yourself, I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and unsocial. Here we see Marcus employing reflection to better tackle the future. We usually think of reflection as a past-centered activity, for lack of a better term. You reflect on your choices, reflect on your day, and it seems like it's just about reflecting back on past things. But reflection can be so much more. Marcus is reflecting not on the past, but on a life lesson, that there are unpleasant people in the world and we often encounter them. Now you may say, wow, that's so insightful. There are bad people in the world. Whoa, stop the presses everyone, that's a groundbreaking idea. But it's not so much that the idea is novel or unique, but that it's useful to remember. I mean, be honest, we probably don't wake up each morning reminding ourselves that people can be jerks. We just wake up, shower, and eat Honey Bunches of Oats because that's honestly the best cereal. And then we go out in the world and are taken aback when someone cuts us off in traffic or is unnecessarily rude to us or is just a But maybe by reflecting upon the idea that people can be bad, and that we'll probably encounter them, maybe we won't be so surprised and hurt when we get slighted. Another reflection that Marcus advocates for, in order to help future actions, is a reflection upon death. Since it is possible that you might depart from life this very moment, regulate every act and thought accordingly. Now if you're into Stoicism, you've probably already heard of Memento Mori, the saying that reminds us that we're mortal and that we're gonna die. Now it might sound morbid and depressing to reflect upon death, but it could also lead to great change in your life. Reminding yourself that we're mortal and that we can die at any time may lead us to appreciate the importance of time. You might be binging a Netflix show and you could ask yourself, would I be okay if I died right now? That might give you some motivation to do something else. Unless you're binging Cobra Kai, now that's a great show. But while reflecting upon death could hype you up to do more in life, I could see it also doing the opposite. You might think, well, I'm just gonna die anyway eventually. Why does any of this matter? And while that's where some Stoic writing on virtue might help you, this probably makes me want to put a disclaimer or something on this reflection. Like it could be motivational, but I could also see it stopping someone in their tracks. But let me know in the comments if thinking about death and mortality motivates you or makes you more apathetic. And you will give yourself relief if you do every act of your life as if it were the last, laying aside all carelessness, passionate aversion from the commands of reason, hypocrisy, self-love, and discontent with the portion that has been given to you. Now while we did kinda shit on distraction in the intro to this video, distraction can help us take a break from the stresses of the world. The problem is we may not always have our gaming system or our phones or whatnot. So how might we temporarily escape from the anxieties of life when we have nothing to help? Well, our mind is always an option. For there is no retreat that is quieter or freer from trouble than a man's own soul, especially when he has within him thoughts that by looking into them, he is immediately in perfect tranquility. And tranquility is nothing else than the good ordering of the mind. Now this doesn't mean that we just hang out in our mind and fully escape the world. Marcus expects us to get back out there, but he's reasonable. He sees people retreating all the time, and we could see people retreat in our time as well. I think about those people who've spent so much time in some computer game where their identity is also primarily online. We still gotta live in the world. Full-on escape is not an option, but we can take breaks so that we can be more mentally tranquil, so that we can act better in the world. I know it's a bit of a meme, but when people talk about thinking of your happy place, that actually works, for me at least. When I have a panic attack, one thing I do is visualize some super secure underground bunker that I'm in where I'm completely safe from the outside world. I know it's a bit of a far cry from the usual happy place like a garden or some shit, but come on, a bunker makes you feel pretty safe and secure, right? So those are some examples of how reflection or utilizing your mind can translate into better action in the world. It's mind and body working together. Kinda. Actually, I don't know if that really applies in this case, but it sounds close enough, so screw it. Now, it should be important to note that even though our mind can help us live better lives, it could also hurt us. Reflecting on the wrong things, for instance, might interfere with not only our mental health, but the quality of our physical lives. One of Marcus's examples of this is when it comes to thinking about other people. Do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others when you do not refer your thoughts to some object of common utility, for you lose the purpose of doing something else when you have such thoughts as these. Marcus's point here is one of power, in the sense that we don't control the lives of other people, so why bother getting mentally involved with someone else's life? There's no purpose or utility to it. It's like those crazy fans that are obsessing over a celebrity. Wasting your time thinking about that celebrity is not going to change anything for them or you, but thinking on your own life and how you can act will make a difference. Now, me personally, I do think it's helpful from a sympathy perspective to think about others. Thinking about others and what their needs or wants are may help you in turn help that person out. But I also agree that obsessing over someone else isn't a very useful way to spend that mental energy. But thinking about others is obviously not the only harmful way your mind can work. Negative thoughts come in many shapes and sizes, and these can really hurt you in the life you're living. Just be mindful of them. And honestly, it's more in the realm of psychology than philosophy when it comes to combating them. Anyways guys, hopefully this video makes a good case for the importance of reflection, not only to help you act in the world, but also to deal with the anxiety it creates. If you enjoyed the video, then I'd appreciate it if you like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Let me know what type of philosophy videos you'd like to see in the future, and I wish you all a beautiful rest of your day.